Hi Taurus, so let's talk about the big outcome for you guys, and we'll see where things go. This is what I've been talking around about in part 2. By the way, this is your part 2 video, so of 2015. So this is what I've been talking about. This is probably the most significant card in your reading, except for this one here, and this one here, and this one. You're strong through the year. So just as I'm going through this, just remember you're in a good position and there's a lot of blossoming and positive stuff going on for you. But particularly with one thing that I notice is that the life of the father is falling apart, right? So maybe if you have a parent who's in that age where they may be in a position of retirement or where they're kind of downgrading their strength or whatnot, just remember that the strength of the father is waning this year. So if you have a father who may be, at that phase in his life, then he may become more dependent, or maybe his life is changing in some way. Maybe he's taken on a business investment that's going to fundamentally rock him, and particularly with fathers who are in faraway places. So this is important to think about, because you may be required to kind of extend your responsibility towards that person a bit more. And so that's where the understanding from your community comes in. It's like you're being asked to be in a difficult situation, and so that difficult situation might be that of nurturing your father and giving back to your father at this time. So that's one thing. On the other hand, you may be really shaking things up. I get the sense that there could be a business investment or a work experience that was not very functional for you, and so maybe you've taken a renegade shot at things and just said, fuck it, I'm gonna start my own business. And you start your own business, particularly something to do on the international level, maybe importing, maybe sales or whatever it is that you do. But it's going to be something where you really establish your strength and your power. And I think that power will consolidate for you really well into the fall, and that you'll become quite established. You may, if you're a single woman or if you're a gay male, you may actually encounter a husband, and it's going to be a very powerful interaction. It's going to be something that is like a whirlwind romance, someone who sweeps you off your feet and kind of sweeps you off your feet and onto your back, let's just put it that way. And this person may be from abroad, and this person may be very you'll know when it's on. This card actually talks about whirlwind romances. Now, whirlwind romances, I've been told, fizzle, but I get the sense about this that it's going to be a no going back kind of situation. And I think that when you take this, you're going to see it through. And also the other component is this world component, which means that from the world abroad, you're going to have your solutions with this person, but it's going to kind of make some questions about, leaving behind a significant part of yourself. Having said that, I think that you've come to an end to a big chunk of your life up to this point. And so, not a big chunk of your life, a phase of your life. So you're putting the end to a chapter. And so life is kind of prepared for you to kind of let go. And so what you're letting go is maybe some of the lingering things, or maybe family relationships. And maybe this is why there's a great community support behind you, because I think that when we transition in certain ways, sometimes that's when you see all your friends. For example, let's say that you decide to move overseas, then you may end up seeing all your friends. They're all coming in for the wedding, and they're all coming in, to see you before you move forward in a new direction. So someone's stepping in, they're taking charge, and you're allowing them to take charge. You're allowing that duality to happen for you, where you're really integrating with someone. And maybe this might be quite surprising for you, many of you guys, because Taurus is very self-directed sign. It's a very, I'm going to get my own bases covered and take care of my own responsibilities kind of sign. And so this might be quite a surprise, like, oh really, I can actually form this kind of relationship. It's not antiquated, because you know everybody is cynical about marriages these days, and they're like, oh well, they're non-functional and that they fail, and essentially you know, people live with each other for a long time, not forever anymore. And so like after a 10-year life, there's no expectation. And so coming up, and in my age group, and I guess younger people are watching this happen to the older generations. And so when we question whether it's real, like whether you can have a relationship like that. And I think that for you guys this year might come an event which is going to really, like, marriage is real, and love is real, and kind of building a family structure is real. I think that also another way that this will manifest. Now remember, this is a big warning for you guys, because the Tower is coming up in this position. Excuse me. I'm getting, so let's say that you have your whirlwind romance and you say, okay, well, this takes care of this part for the rest of the year. Wrong. This is, this card is the archetype, like I said in part 1, which means that this is the energy that you're going to be channeling, which expect fundamental shifts in your life to happen throughout the whole year. And so maybe you fall in love. If you're a man, maybe you become a father. Maybe you establish a business all together. This can have so many permutations in your life. So that's important to say. But just fundamental shifts in the way of being. There's fundamental changes in your lifestyle and the way things are. And there's going to be a great prominence for you coming out into the world abroad. And it's going to be really closely connected with masculine energy. And so structural energy with that as well. Next card down is the Strength card. And the Strength card is you in this position. Yourself are taming your beasts. You're really managing your expectations, goals, aspirations, how you feel about things, where you want things to go. You're also really good at dealing with others. I think that when shit hits the fan, and that's what the Tower is saying, shit's going to hit the fan. When shit hits the fan, you're going to have a supportive network that's going to see you through. And I think that that's going to give you a lot of confidence and keep you away from being really afraid of the things that may happen. If you didn't have these people, you wouldn't have the confidence and the ability to move forward. So you're going to be blessed and nurtured to a level where you're not going to have panic attacks, to a level where you're not going to suffer. You're just going to be really strong and tenacious through this. You're going to, you know, be fiery. You're going to be a leader, and you're going to be willing to take on that role time and again, and really lift up your circumstance, improve your circumstance, get stronger with each day, and not let it rock you. I think that this is the perfect card to come up against the Tower here. So you yourself are the observant narrator of your life, and you're like really watching things go through, and watching those things go through, you just get stronger and you derive good conclusions. So I think that the next card is the Temperance card, and that has to do with your family and friends. And so the influence of them is the integration. So let's say you're going through life and the Tower happens, and something happens where your order's disrupted. Expect your friends to provide you with a lot of different solutions on how to manage that. That can come in the form of loans. That can come in the form of just giving money. That can come in the form of ideas, solutions, protection, shelter, anything. So expect your friends to be really creative in helping you through this, and really creative in helping you resolve these matters to a position where you're going to feel comfortable. The next card up is the Wheel of Fortune. Now the Wheel of Fortune is in the big challenge position. So one of the big things that are going to be shakeups is expectations. Make sure that you're not expecting good fortune to come your way around every corner. So don't make decisions based on the idea that something's going to come and rescue you. Because, excuse me, The Wheel of Fortune comes, and it does bless your life and improve your circumstances in good directions. However, with it coming, blessing your life and improving circumstances in new directions, it's not how you expect it. So when you start screwing around with it and saying, well, it's going to come save me if I do this, if I buy this car that's outside of my budget, then Wheel of Fortune is going to come and find me a way to pay for it. That's not how it works. You can't mess with those kinds of principles. And so it's a bad idea to do that this year. In fact, the next card really warns you against it, is don't get arrogant and greedy going through everything. I think that the card is really warning you about moderation, and really watch your moderation. I think that don't get too comfortable with the nurturing either, because the nurturing is a blessing. And so once, just like anything else in life, once we kind of coddle what it is that we're given, and once we kind of think that we're too entitled to it, then once we feel like we're too entitled to it, then it becomes kind of problematic, right? When it becomes problematic in that the good thing becomes not such a good thing. So watch out for that. Definitely no drinking. The outcome may be a little bit of partying, maybe a little bit of jovial having fun, especially if you're getting married. Maybe you're not looking at things, maybe you're not looking at the situations that are around you, which is going to cause you some problems. So make sure that you try to get away from this a little bit in order to keep your head leveled. But I think that this year is going to put you in a better place. So even with this card, you have a propensity to overstimulate yourself this year with drugs and alcohol. You have a propensity to party, to eat too much, that kind of thing. And so it's going to be kind of a battle for you each day, because you're surrounded by a lot of good things, and it's requiring of a lot of energy out of you. And so through that, it becomes the challenge. The challenge is through managing all the positivity. And also, it's not very often that we have such an environment in which we're really warmed and coddled and excuse me, warmed and coddled and lifted up by our communities. It's not often in society that we can find, people who are really able and willing to give you what you need emotionally when you need it. And so keep in mind it's a blessing, and keep in mind that it's a keep in mind that it's a blessing, and keep in mind that you're very lucky to be experiencing it. Okay, so here we have, in this position, we have the spring, or the initiation of the matter. It's the beginning, and I do read from the spring as from the first flower blossom, that kind of thing. And so right off the year, this is a very powerful and prominent card. You're blessed, and you're blessed with happiness, joy, and protection from enemies. Very successful beginning spring, feeling very happy. You're going to laugh your way through it. You're going to have a good time, and I think that that's when a lot of these people will come in. I think that you will feel very like there's people again around you everywhere, and you're just kind of lifted up by the world. Things are improving for you. Things are making you happy. Maybe some of you are having children at this time, and those children become your soulmates. And so, yeah, the springtime is very empowering, and it's very freeing, particularly kind of consolation for what happened in the past. It's kind of, you get that lift. This is kind of your Percocet, your positive, happy feeling pill, and you feel really happy this spring, and really happy with and content with all the different things going on. If you're looking for a job, do it in the spring. The jobs that you will get in the spring are going to be more happy and easier to go to, and so if you're looking to switch, this is the time to do it. This is the time to get the job, and I would do that before summer. By the summer, it gets a little bit more mischievous, a little bit more complex, but maybe that's the fallout of everything that happens in the spring. You're on a high in the spring, in a big time, and I don't mean a drug high, I mean a life high. And I think that life high may draw some attention to you, some attention of interlocutors. And here we have, in the summertime, the blossoming the fruitful summer. And what's really going on is that there is energy watching. So as the sun kind of, there's a sun, and then comes the opposite, the moon. And so with this, and with all this, the moon blesses us in a different way. The moon is more complex in that it talks about the shadow, it talks about the undercurrent of things, about dream reality. It also talks about that people are watching what you're doing, and they're taking notes, and so they're studying you and your ways. And so moving forward, the moon is saying, you know, watch yourself and watch your business, because people are watching how happy you are. And so these people are very supportive, but I'm talking about outside of that. There's an element around you that is channeling this, and there is an element around you. I think you're escalating to a level of competition, to a level of success that's greater than your community even. And so you're interacting at a different level with entities that are outside of the scope of your not hierarchy, but it kind of works that way. It's just you're going outside of your pond into a big pond, and in that big pond there are new predators, and so you need to kind of stick to your own people. Now the people around you are really supporting you, so in the form of reference letters, in the form of the pat on the back, you know, setting you off on your journey in a good way. And when you go out there, it's going to be a volatile, complex time for you guys. There's going to be a lot of stuff, and that's going to really start. It's like almost you start the business, or you start really working on the business right now, or in the springtime, and by the summer it becomes kind of the bubble is burst, and the reality sits in of the work that you need to do, and you're ready to do it. You're still happy, and you're very much supported by the people around you. But I think that there are people, it's not people, there is an entity. So whether that's entity of like a intangible energy, or whether it's a company, or whether it's an individual, there's just something, there's something that is taking a shot at you, is competing with you, and not taking a shot because it's just not pointless bullying. There's a reason why that's happening, and ultimately that reason will be in your favor, but you're going to have to, it's game time, and I'm telling you. In the fall, so this is going to probably happen in the summer. The majority of this tower that I've been talking around, there's going to be an event that happens in your life in the summertime that's going to be like, you're going to be up against someone, and you're going to have to, you know, prove you're right, or you're going to have to kind of prove your point, or push forward with your agenda. And so it's going to be a competition thing. Excuse me. The outcome card is, for the fall, is the Magician. Sorry. And the Magician is representative of the harvest. So this is the yang energy of what you put out. And I think that by the fall, when things pick up here, you're going to be kind of ready to fight fire with fire. And so you're going to be kind of powerful enough to be like, oh heck no, I was ready for this. I listened to Varouche. I took my notes. I collected my evidence. You're not going to screw with me. I know what to do. I've been ready for you. Like, bring it on kind of thing. So this is going to be you in the fall. It's game time, and you're going to really kind of do that. But do so with humility. Don't think that you have everything covered. Always, because that's the first way that people lose, is that they think that they have things covered. So you have to think about your own fallacy, and do it with humility so that you can achieve that. And the outcome is success. The outcome is justice in your favor. What didn't happen, particularly, go into your arbitration if this is a legal matter in the fall. Like, go for it right off, full energy, full steam, and then you'll get that resolved by the December. If someone, you know, if someone messes with you, mark your territory and fight for what you believe is right. Fight what you've earned, because because by the fall you're going to really receive a positive judgment in your favor. If this is a non-legal issue, then again, really make your mark known. Be strong against the devil. Be strong and face it. it's gonna, so even when people are dumber than us, if people are, your opponent is dumber than you, or maybe not as educated, or maybe a simpleton, they can still cause you damage. So it's like the first strike happens, it causes you some damage. Yeah, there's going to be collateral damage that happens for you, and that's going to probably be in the summertime. But the extent of that is really dependent on you individually. And so then in the fall, you really kind of giddy up and be like, okay, well, I'm going to deal with this now, because this is, I went through this in the past. I'm not going to allow this to destroy me, and I'm going to do the right thing, and the outcome is going to be positive with the Justice card. All right, so thanks very much for watching. Your first video was a bit short. This was a bit long, so I hope that that's all right with you. This was the important part, so I'm glad that I think I articulated it the right way. Anyway, make sure to like my video, subscribe, and then also click through to my sponsors below, because that's how I get supported. And definitely check out my shop, farouche.com, and then also plurimagic.com for jewelry. Thanks very much, Tauruses. I hope you guys have a great year.